Right, well, very bored today, so I think I'm going to have a little look at this oil leak on this gearbox. Probably regret doing it, but you know, it's not leaking a lot. That little bit down that oil pan is just, well, it's a week's worth of oil. But then there's not actually a huge amount of oil in the gearbox. It's not full to the brim, so if it is full right up, it leaks worse. I think it's basically a case of having to take that battery box off first, which is up somewhere back there. I see something. And go from there then. Right, I'll flick the camera on at various times, you know, if I find anything interesting. Right, first off, let's get this door off. That's easier to get into it. So I'm guessing not that, could be that screw. Possibly just them 3 bolts on the back there. There's barely some. Yeah, one at the back there as well. Right. Right, one little tip. If you buy a complete socket set like this, and it comes with a ratchet, a 1/2 inch, the first thing you're going to do is chuck it away and buy a Facum one, if it will pick up there. Facum. They are far superior and really are worth every penny. It's quite a lot of pennies, you have to admit, but I've had this one, must be 15 years, and it's still, you know, as tight as the day it was born. It just shows, just spend a little bit extra on tools, you do get something a lot better. Right, well, I've got all the screws out, well I think it's holding that battery box in, bolts I should say. But it seems very wedgy in. With my hands being cold, I can't actually pull on it enough, but it does seem like it's just jammed. So I've got one of these ideas that might work, might not. Taking a ratchet strap up to the top of the safety frame there, putting a little bit of tension on it, and then wiggling this out, and it actually looks like it's working. Probably it's definitely lifting out. Well, it's definitely higher than it was. Right. Wiggling. Yeah, it's coming out. Look. God, bloody hands are cold. I'll take the tension off now. There's definitely nothing holding it anymore, it is just the fact that it is tight. Right, let's put a bit more tension on this. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. How's that brake pipe? Oh, you bugger. Excuse me. Just getting over a cold. Stop there. Right, I've just switched the camera off and use 2 hands now. Right. If I can get somewhere. This is where the oil is coming from. There's a like a little, what it is really, shaft I suppose, comes out of the gearbox. The hand clutch, which is this one, and the foot clutch, which is this one, pivot on it. But there's no logical reason why oil should be coming out of it, because nothing actually goes, I can see out there, nothing goes into the gearbox. I'm just guessing. Exactly the same as on this side. Why are the foot pedals for the brakes hinge, pivot, whatever. So I'm wondering, what is it coming from there? Is it coming from that drain plug? But then it's not. Well, it is wet, I suppose. Whatever there is, a hole goes all the way into the gearbox there. So it's really a case of having to look at the manual now and finding out what's what. Well, I'm not really found much apart from that nut there, bolt I should say, not nut, bolt, was quite loose. I'm wondering if that does actually go into the gearbox and it's been leaking through there. Because for the life of me I can't see any reason why that, we call it pivoting shaft, should be going all the way into the gearbox. There's no obvious reason why any oil should be coming through it. But really it does want steam cleaning off first, but it should have been steam cleaned off first, but it hasn't been. But I don't know. So I'm going to put it back together now and just keep my eye on it for the next week and see if it goes down more or less. Well, I don't really think I've achieved a lot. I've put it back together now. It's getting dark in here now. That bolt was loose, there was no question about that. And I have had a look under there, and where in the past, if you've wiped them control levers, if you want to call them that, off for the clutches, if you wipe them off fairly quickly, oil will drip back again, or weep back. And they are still fairly dry, and I suppose there is quite a lot of oil under there, so it may have got it. It may just be where it's coming from. But yeah, I'll just keep my eye on it. So I did have a problem once with bolts coming loose on the gearbox on this one. A few years ago, I was cutting grass, backed up, put it into first gear, let the clutch off, and it stalled. Started it up again, put it into gear, stalled again. So started it up, obviously you have to start with the foot on the clutch. Put it into neutral, took my foot off the clutch, and it stalled, it shot off backwards. So worried then that sort of broke a selector fork. Got it back into here, and then sort of took the floor up, ready for, sort of taking it to sort of somebody professional to do it, and found out that the bolts on the top cover of the gearbox had come loose, just enough to enable the selector forks to jump out. And I was obviously stuck in reverse, but was able to engage the forward gears as well. So luckily I was able to figure out where they went, put them back together and tighten the top cover down, torque them all back up, and luckily it's been fine ever since. But yeah, so you should go around them occasionally and check all the nuts and bolts. Yeah, it's quite annoying with this one. Let's say there was a time that oil was cheap, but it isn't now, so it does need sorting, I suppose. Right, that'll be about it today. Probably will include on here, there's a video, there was some building work going across the road this morning, and there was a concrete pump there, and just caught the last sort of couple of minutes of them folding it up. Quite impressive, really, with the way the linkages work on that. So, yeah, that one of the rams enables the sort of boom, the way it's sort of linkaged up to sort of, I think it's about 270 degrees of rotation, which is quite impressive. Right, that'll be about it. Thank you for watching. Right. Here's for fold up. Quite incredible how much travel or movement he's got on that end jib. 270 degrees of travel. Just coming in. So next door neighbour's an undertaker, that's why I thought the hearse was coming in. Nothing more sinister. That's it. Right.